And bam, we are back in it once again, YouTube, with our 25th edition of the JA Movie News, where we cover the biggest, the freshest, the baddest movie news in the world of cinema. And we are going to very briefly, before this is going to be dedicated only to your guys' user questions. But before we get there, we got to dive into a quick little discussion here. We'll try to keep it brief, but it's something couldn't really ignore. But so recently it was dropped on us that Batman vs Superman might actually get there might be a rated R extended version of Batman vs Superman when it comes out on Blu-ray. And so people are sort of geeking out about this. Also, the film is extremely long. I'm gonna have to bring up the runtime because I forgot exactly what the fuck it was. Unless you just beat me to it, but
yeah, I think I remember it. It was 2 hours and 41 minutes, something close to that.
Good God. So just brief thoughts on that. The rated R thing. Fuck. I don't know, man. I mean, like, how rated R are we talking about? That's what I would want to know, because at the current time, it just seems so clickbaity or gimmicky. Meaning, like, when you actually get to it, it's just gonna be like, I guess it was okay. Like, it just, I mean, what's rated R about it, son? I mean, like, is Batman just in complete gory details, just murdering people? Is like what is constituting the rated R? I mean, how far did they really go? You know, but I don't know. I'm curious. I'm not like losing my mind over it, but like I'm curious to see what it's like. As far as the running time, though, I know we touched on this briefly in the last podcast, but the running time is actually kind of dope.
Yeah, it really is. Oh my gosh.
It's kind of a mind fuck, because it's like, yo, that's a you should bring up the Man of Steel runtime if you can. I'm curious, like.
Yeah, it's like 10 minutes less or more than Man of Steel. Let me go back and look at it though.
Okay. But the rated R thing, I'm not that jazzed about. I mean, it's cool, but motherfuckers, I'm not fiending to see the rated R version on Blu-ray. I'm fiending to see the official fucking movie that comes out in March. You know, sorry to tell you, but I mean, it's cool that there's this rated R thing, but whatever. I just want to just give me the movie and please don't fuck up. But the running time is dope. That's actually pretty epic. But what are your thoughts?
All right, so for me, I remember back when Zack Snyder was getting finished with the movie, and they were saying that, you remember when it was supposed to be released back in like 2015 instead of like 2016? That he had a lot of content that people hadn't seen yet, and he was worried about. And it kind of implied, quote unquote, that it might push to the border of a PG-13 rated R film. And I was excited for that, because that means that his director's cut could potentially have been either unrated or rated R. But for MPAA standpoint, like, it's not an NC-17 movie. I don't think we're going to see like a lot of gore or anything like that. For them to even have Warner Brothers check that, I'm surprised that Warner Brothers did that, because it shows that they're not ashamed to just kind of go all in with it. I'm actually hyped for it, because if this is the director's cut that he initially made that wasn't tampered or dulled down by Warner Brothers, then I'm all for it, because all of his director's cuts I love. And even with the runtime, it's symbolic, because with 300, with Watchmen, the movie trailers didn't show a lot of sex, violence, or anything. It just, when you saw the movie, you saw all those things, you know? And like, Batman vs Superman could lean down that road. So I don't like knock the fact that it could happen to be like a rated R whole film. So I'm excited to see what they're going to do with the director's cut. But as far as the runtime is concerned, I think it's essential. This movie is going to have to be at least pushing that to be able to fit all this crap, because I was worried that it was going to be like 2 hours long and trying to do all this, and it wasn't going to work. I think that Watchmen was bordering on 3 hours. Man of Steel was like 2 hours and 28 minutes. I just confirmed. And even 300 was a long film. So all the films that Zack Snyder has done has been a trend of keeping them long to be able to give you the full experience of what you're seeing in the immersion of the comics. Like, I think that what was that crappy movie, The Last Airbender, which they tried to take freaking book one and fit it in an hour and 30 minutes. They would have served better to have used at least 2 hours and 30 minutes. So I'm all hyped for this. Like, both accounts, like, I'm happy for. They're going to take all my money anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
But yeah, I just wanted to touch on that real quick before we move on to the user questions, which we are about to do right now. All right, so the first question of the night comes from Eagles 42025. Do you think Quentin Tarantino is underrated? Is the question. I mean, this is really simple for me. The question is no. I think that underrated? No. I mean, I feel like there's a extraordinary amount of love for Quentin Tarantino. I mean, man, Reservoir Dogs, Pulp Fiction, the Kill Bill movies. I mean, Inglourious Basterds, Django Unchained, and now with the Hateful Eight. No, man. Not only do I not think he's underrated, but these are highly acclaimed films from both fans and critics. And no, I think most people who are in the movies are a fan of Quentin.
Yeah.
I mean, what about you?
I mean, I think that everybody knows his raw talent, man. I mean, the dude is a historic director in his own right. Like, no matter what, nobody can take that away from him. He's made some cult classics in movies. You know, like, some people, they only have that once in their lifetime they could say that. He's made several, the multis. And I think it's hard for people to look at people like what you would expect as a big-time director, like, you know, Steven Spielberg or like Christopher Nolan, and kind of compare him to Quentin Tarantino. He's in a league of his own. To me, in his own right, like, he is one of the greats. He should be just as much acknowledged, and I think everybody sees that in him. It's just he's different. He's very different, and I think that from a lot of people's perspective, when it comes to like award season, they're looking like he's getting shunned. And I mean, a lot of times, it might be that as far as awards are concerned, but I don't think anybody doubts his talents as a director. He's amazing.
Right. I mean, even if you just don't like him, I mean, can we really have a conversation about top filmmakers of the present day time without mentioning Tarantino? I mean, I think he's not only fantastic, but really well known, even to people who are just casual movie fans. You know, that's what I would argue, actually. You know, who hasn't heard of Django Unchained? You know what I'm saying?
I know, right?
Who hasn't? You know, who hasn't heard of Pulp Fiction as movie fans, even casually? So I would say no, but great question though. But let's go ahead and dive into the next question, which is from Moses. By the way, this is not a question, but you know, shout out to moms everywhere. Anyway. Thoughts on comic book movies being more likely to be rated R? I highly fucking disagree. I'm sorry to shoot you down, but no. I mean, look, I know people are like starting to have this mentality because Deadpool did great, but to set the record straight, Deadpool was exceptional. How it performed, you know what I'm saying? Not to mention, like, it was one of those properties where, like, for it to not be rated R, it could not be a great film. At least not in my opinion, anyway. And I'm pretty sure that opinion is shared with most fans of Deadpool. I mean, the next Wolverine, it being rated R is not going to make it great. You know what I'm saying? You know, I would say no. I don't think that's gonna happen. I don't think we're about to see this huge swell of fucking rated R comic book movies. Like, oh, that's what the people like. That's what they need. Like, no, that's not what's gonna happen. But I don't know. What are your thoughts?
I'm on the fence with it. I don't think that the smart studios, the major studios, would just kind of like bend over backwards and just, go jump ship. But I think that there are going to be some studios out there that are going to go on the desperate route, and they're going to try to pick on, some select content characters that they think that they can go and run with the rated R rating. And I think they're probably going to fail. They're probably going to fail epically because there are certain characters that would work in connotation with, such as Punisher, such as Blaze, such as Deadpool, Wolverine, depending on his own right. But when you have like a group of superheroes, such as like Wonder Woman can't just be a rated R film, as her introduction film. It would have to be that, as far as the setting is concerned, like maybe she's dealing with her duality complex as being like an Amazon/God, like her going and seeing Ares, like when they're going into a war, like you actually see like a war. There's something that's putting her out of her shell to be in a realm like that. That's the only way that you can make comic book films work like that. It has to be a slow build. But if there's nothing to, graduate to, then it's not going to work. Now, I'll tell you something that I would love to be rated R. I would love to see a freaking God of War rated R film. I'd love to see another Spawn film rated R. That would be freaking badass.
Yeah, and it's also worth mentioning that even the studios really are like, oh, we need to get some rated R comic book movies out there. I mean, there's not been. I don't think there's that big of a plethora of comic book hero movies that you could just slap a rated R onto, or comic book movies in general. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I don't know. That's one of my current thoughts. I'm gonna say no, but I don't know. Did you have anything else you want to add before we move on from that one? That's a really good question, but I mean,
nah, I don't think so. I don't got anything to say.
All right. Let's move on. Okay. All right. This is not movie related question. Do you watch Brazzers? I'm not watching it now. Let's see here. Hey, what are your thoughts on The Witch? The Witch was awesome. I gave it a 9 out of 10, son. Already answered that. Did you see The Witch yet, by the way?
No, and I'm not gonna watch it.
You're not gonna watch it?
I'm not gonna watch it, bro. Okay, so I did a reaction to the trailer. I was like, bruh, this joint feels real. This is like, I mean, it's the way that the tone is, like it's this indie kind of feel to it, and I'm like, bro, I can't get into this. I ain't watching it. Like, I think it's probably a good movie. I've heard nothing but people say great things about it. But I have not watched it personally, and me and Joe, we've kind of sworn off of not looking at that or The Conjuring 2. So unless, okay, well, I'll say this: if somebody makes a comment on the reaction trailer, I said on both trailers that if we have enough comments up there, we'll go out there and see it just because of that. That's the only way I'm going to go see that movie. But it looks really good, though. I mean, from an artist standpoint, from a movie standpoint, it looks really good.
Oh man, it's fucking fantastic, but it is terrifying. Let's see here. All right, so Mr. Chang asks, "What is your favorite to least?" Holy shit! What is your favorite to least Marvel Cinematic Universe movie so far? And do you guys buy physical copies or download online? It really just fucking depends. Recently, it's been more so online because it's just easier. It's quicker. At least for me personally. My God, what is your? All right, that first question, I'm gonna need to hit up Google. But what is your thoughts on the second part to that question?
Shoot, man. You know what? if I could, I would say actions speak louder than words. I can't pull out my collection, but I do nothing but collect. Personally, if I was like, needing to watch something, I would definitely go through the digital route really quickly. But I think it's something about like collecting movies and having people come over to your house and they actually seeing your collection like, wow, okay, let's pick that out and watch it. It makes you have this feeling of nostalgia that you're like, oh man, that was a great movie. I'm glad I bought this. Let's watch this right now. Whereas if you're on Netflix, you'd be less inclined like, I don't feel like watching it right now. Versus it being like right there, I feel more inclined to watch it. Not just that, having other people around is good. So I'm a collector. So I do digital, and I keep all my digital copies and at the same time downloads. But I do collect a lot of physical copies. What was the first question though?
It's the one that took me just till now to find an answer to, but it was, what is your favorite to least movie from the Marvel Cinematic Universe? So since we only got the first two phases so far, I'm gonna go. Oh fuck! Did he say? What did he say? Favorite to least? Okay, favorite to least. Oh boy, let's see.
So wait,
I'm gonna.
Each one, or are we just going with the worst one and our best one? Which one? How are we doing?
I'm just gonna go by phases. Sorry, Mr. Chang. We're going by phases, bro. Ain't got time for all this. Let me see. I'm gonna go from least. Oh, favorite to least. Sorry. Okay, then with phase one, I'm gonna go with. Oh boy, the Avengers, Iron Man, Thor, and then Incredible Hulk and Captain America: The First Avenger.
God.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with that for phase one, and then what would you go for phase one?
God, man. See, I'm sitting there, was working it all in my head. Shoot. Okay. So for phase one for me, so we starting from we starting from best to least, or how are we going that?
We're starting favorite to least.
Oh, okay.
That's the worst. Yeah.
Favorite would be Avengers, Iron Man. Shoot. God. Does Incredible Hulk count, or is that still
yes, it counts. It counts.
Okay.
Hey, I'm standing right over there.
Dang. Captain America, Incredible Hulk, Thor for phase one.
Okay. And then for phase two, oh shit. Okay. Oh, ball sack. All right. So best to worst. Best to worst for phase two. I'm gonna go with this is really difficult.
Oh dang, I forgot about Iron Man 2. Iron Man 2 is at the bottom for me.
I think for me personally, I'm gonna go Guardians of the Galaxy, Winter Soldier. Wait. Fuck. I'm gonna go. I take that back. I'm gonna go Guardians of the Galaxy, Age of Ultron, Winter Soldier, Ant-Man, Thor: The Dark World, and Iron Man 3. Best of worst, phase two for me. How about you?
Okay, so phase two for me would definitely be, well, it's a toss-up for me because I'm in between Winter Soldier and Guardians of the Galaxy.
It's difficult, bro.
I'm gonna say Guardians of the Galaxy, Winter Soldier. Well, Actually, you know what? This is gonna be a surprise. Ant-Man, then Age of Ultron, then Thor 2, and then Iron Man 3, which is the worst Marvel movie for me ever. If I did a review on that, y'all would see me but nothing but just bashing it, like I did the bashing for the Arrow episode tonight. Anyway.
Oh boy.
I'll say that for
but yeah,
day.
Those are our thoughts on that. Let's move on here. Okay, so next question is, what do you think about the DC universe in general? Do you think it's better than Marvel Cinematic Universe? It is not. It's not. It's not even fucking close. One stems from the fact that there's not that many films in the cinematic universe of DC's arsenal. I mean, isn't there just Man of Steel for now? Also missing something? Am I tripping? Isn't that like just the only one so far?
We're just gonna avoid the Love Child, Green Lantern, because
it doesn't even count.
That's all they got right now. Like as far as their brand new slate, that's it. And I think they did a great job with it. That's a good beginning for them.
I mean, maybe he's talking about like just in what we've heard and what's coming. Do we think it's better than the Marvel Cinematic Universe? If that's what you meant by it, it kind of remains to be fucking seen.
I mean, the hype is there. It's just I can't judge that. I don't know.
I'm highly skeptical. I mean, I hope it's great. I hope Batman vs Superman is just amazing. I hope that Wonder Woman is fantastic and Suicide Squad is great and Justice League and all that. But the Marvel Cinematic Universe currently is king of the crop. Period.
Yeah.
They are undefeated. DC bow before them unless your Batman vs Superman is a one-hit KO. No offense, DC fans, but just telling you, Marvel's got it, son. You don't want to fuck with them unless Batman vs Superman turns out to be like the greatest thing since sliced bread. Hey, you never know.
Yeah.
I will say that if with Batman vs Superman, they can just like with one chop of the axe, bam, they're DC and Marvel are in competition. But at the current time, Marvel is king of the cinematic world, and that's all.
For me, shoot. Like I said, I can't say anything, but I will say this: that for me. I got to see Superman in real life like I imagined him from the comic books. I really enjoyed Man of Steel, and I think that DC has not made a bad film yet, and that's a good thing. So basically, starting from that, if they end up capitalizing and Batman vs Superman is epically awesome, then they've got two great movies under their belt. For Marvel, they had Iron Man was a great hit. Incredible Hulk, some people didn't like it, lackluster. Thor was kind of lackluster, didn't like it, but yet they ended up succeeding over time with Avengers, So it's like it's semantics in the sense that they have a lot of ground that they can really cover. But a lot of people say, okay, well, they're at a disservice because of that. I don't think that. I think that because they can really reinvent the wheel in a deeper way because they're not conceptualized into like a box. Like Marvel, they have to stay into the same blueprint as far as their movies. DC has a lot more free reign than Marvel does. So I think that's a good thing moving forward. But right now, I mean, Marvel is the it guy. So there's nothing you can say about that.
Yeah.
But I think that they got a good track record so far. And it's looking pretty good. And as long as they don't screw us with Wonder Woman movie, then they might actually win this thing later. I
actually think that low key the Wonder Woman movie is not going to be that great. But let's move on to the next question. It's from Mr. Jordan. What do you guys think about the possibility of so many superhero questions? What do you guys think about the possibility of an rated R X-Force movie after the success of Deadpool and a possible rated R Wolverine. Rated R X-Force. I'll let you take this one first.
Wait, what's the question? Hold on.
What do you think about rated R X-Force movie?
Oh, dude, I think that's dope, man. Like, I mean, to have people like Psylocke, to have like freaking Domino. I mean, there's so many different, X-Men characters that they can add to this, especially since now Cable is going to be involved in it. So that means you could have people like Bishop and other underrated X-Men that people don't know anything about. I think that'd be freaking dope, man. Like, I think that there's a character by the name of X-23, and she's made in the sculpture, literally, of Wolverine. She's a technical clone. She has his healing ability. She's faster. She's actually got claws in her feet, but she's only got 2 claws in her fists. To see her in a rated R film would be the most epic thing ever, because that would be the closest that we'll ever get to seeing Wolverine in a rated R film, unless the next one actually succeeds. So I think that's a smart move, especially having Deadpool being involved with X-Men. And I think that's what a lot of people are wanting next. Like, they want to see more X-Men involved. This is the best way to do it versus them being with the conventional version of X-Men. So I'm all for a rated R X-Force for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I think the possibilities, it's possible. I don't know that it's just gonna be like, oh, it's happening. I mean, it's in the realm of possibility, but if I just had to blindly guess, I think they would go the PG-13 route, just because you can reach more people. And another thing to consider, guys, is that just because it's rated R doesn't mean that we're gonna have a Deadpool financial situation each time. And I'm real sure that the studios are thinking deeply about this. So I wouldn't get your hopes up too high, but it's definitely possible. And either way, it'd be dope. I mean, nearly any rated R comic book movie or superhero movie would be dope to see, but it's not always going to create a Deadpool situation. It just won't. I think it was an exceptional situation we ran into, but anyway. But thanks for your question, though. Let's see here. Okay, so the next question is, do you think Christopher Nolan's next project will be great, like every other movie of him, or just a normal war movie like Saving Private Ryan, for example? Well, first off, I don't think that Saving Private Ryan is a normal war movie. I think it's like one of the best fucking war movies to ever do it, for one. 2, do I think his next project will be great? Yeah. when has this motherfucker not made a great film, or a film that has not been perceived as great? You know what I'm saying? Motherfucker's he's in his prime right now, Christopher Nolan. He's just going hard and steady. I think it will be an extraordinary war film. I mean, think about what he did with space. Think about what he did with magic. Think about what he did with just a small story in Alaska about a detective motherfucker who can't sleep, but he has a problem with. Think about what he did with Batman. So no, what he did with these genres and stories are, I think all of those could be considered classics. So I don't expect this war film to be any different. I think it'll be extraordinary. I mean, even with The Dark Knight Rises, you could look at that as a war film to some extent. So, I don't know. What do you think?
I think he's gonna crush it, man. I think that he has a way of not just reinventing the wheel. He has a way of just blowing your mind. And that in and of itself is a captivating point about his craft as a director. A lot of directors, you know, they're creative. They have like certain nudges. You know, when you think about Matthew Vaughn, you see like the spectacle from the visual merging. Like I looked at Eddie the Eagle, and I was like, man, I can tell this is kind of Matthew Vaughn's touch on it. But Christopher Nolan, like he just reinvents every single time, and he capitalizes. Like it's not that he can't do any wrong. He's not afraid to do any wrong. And because he's not afraid to do any wrong, it's like he comes out with some of the most amazing things. So I think for him to have a war movie, shoot, I'd love to see him do a Western. I think that he would freaking demolish that. So I think that the dude not caring about failure contributes to his masterfulness as a director. And I think he's going to do a great job with this war film. I'm intrigued. I'm definitely intrigued.
Yeah, I think it's going to be huge. I mean, I was predicting that it was going to be a biopic or a fantasy film. Personally, I wish he had gone the fantasy film route because that shit would be extraordinary. You know what I'm saying? Could you imagine what Nolan, where the wild things are, or Lord of the Rings, or Avatar type of movie would look like? Like, bruh, like how would he pull that off? But I'm super stoked to see this. I think it's going to be a complete mind fuck. Let's see here. Will this let me? Oh, it will. Okay. So our next question is going to be from Steve Rose. What movie do you think is going to win the Oscar? And what do you think about Bryan Cranston? Bryan Cranston, I think he's pretty dope. You know, I mean, his greatest role for me is Walter White, Breaking Bad. It's the one that he'll forever be remembered as, in my opinion, personally. He'll always be Heisenberg. But I think he's great. I think he's a really good actor. As far as your first question goes, what movie do you think is going to win the Oscar? I guess you're talking about Best Picture. Who the fuck do I want to win Best Picture? Who do I think is gonna win? I think they would give it to Mad Max, but I personally want The Revenant to win. What about you?
Yeah, actually, that's ironic that you said that. That was exactly what I was thinking. I was thinking that Mad Max is kind of like, I feel like it's just gonna win. I don't know why. I just got this gut feeling that it's gonna win, and I think it's deserving of it. You know, I think that, you know, it was a great film. I loved it. But I want Revenant to win as well. I mean, yeah, it could go Spotlight or Revenant for me. I haven't seen Room yet. I'm actually going to watch that tonight. I'm excited to watch that. But I really kind of feel like Mad Max is going to win. And as far as what I think about Walter White, I'll just say this. What's my name? You daggone right. I mean, like, freaking Bryan Cranston is the man, dude. Like, he's an excellent actor. A lot of people were really surprised and taken back from him, looking at him from Malcolm in the Middle until seeing him, you know, Breaking Bad. Dude's just got chops. I commend him now for an Oscar nomination now. Like, coming off of the freaking TV world and then going straight into movies, like, that's commendable. A lot of people can't do that. They can't just come off of TV and then just go straight into film and just crush the game like that. I think Idris has that ability in him. And I mean, he might be one of the only ones I can think of that can just go back and forth like that. But actually, no, that actually reminds me. Tom Hiddleston, he's starring in 2 different TV shows, and they look really good. And I was like, dude, like he might be one of those ones that's kind of about that trend of going between TV and movie. That is a really great actor as well. So, but no, I love Walter.
Okay. All right, let's get to the next one here. All right, so the next one is from Andrew. Is it from it? It is, Andrew. Out of all the mountains, out of all the movies you've seen, which one fucked you up the most and left you feeling emotionally violated after watching it? My pick would probably be either Old Boy, the Korean version, or Requiem for a Dream by Mr. Darren Aronofsky. The one that fucked me up the most, I think, I don't know. It might be Requiem for a Dream for me because the first time it's the only movie that I've ever seen that I regretted watching, which is not to mean that it's a bad movie. I think it's a work of art, but I just personally, I don't like depressing movies. I just don't fuck with that kind of thing. So, I think I would have to say, but what fucked me up the most? Requiem for a Dream was really bad. There's this horror film from my favorite horror director, Takashi Miike, who made or Takashi Mike, however you say his last name, but he made a movie called Audition, which traumatized me so bad. If you've seen the movie, you probably just got flashbacks. I'm gonna just say Requiem for a Dream for now, because I managed to watch it for a second time a few years back, and I was like, "Fuck." It was like shit. But what about you?
Yeah, I mean, it was interesting. He said, "Old Boy." Old Boy, it didn't scar me. It shocked me, especially the end. Oh my gosh, it shocked me. But it didn't affect me. What was it? There were two other films that came out of that were really crazy. But for me, and I don't even want to admit to these three or two. One of them is called Graveyard of the Fireflies. If any of y'all anime fans, anime nerds out there, if y'all ever watch this, don't be in a depressed state. Please don't. Like, for my recommendation, I'd feel guilty even letting you, because I was at a depressed state when I actually watched it, and I was also dealing with some financial burdens, and this movie messed me up. Because basically it centers around like two kids that are homeless and are trying to survive in basically a war-ridden town that will not help them. And that messed me up, bro. It is so depressing. Requiem for a Dream was another one I was going to definitely pick. Man, that's the most depressing movie. But Martyrs, if any of y'all know, have ever heard of the movie Martyrs, that is the movie that disturbed me. I will never watch Martyrs again. Because it basically centered around like two women that get put in a bad situation, and the most unbelievable, heinous things happen to them that I never have ever dreamed of. And oh my gosh, watch out for that movie, Martyrs. Don't watch it, please, God, don't.
And by the way, I don't even know if I have a definitive movie that's fucked me up the most. I mean, Requiem for a Dream definitely stands out, but I mean, the ending of Seven, the 8-minute rape sequence in Irreversible from Gaspar.
Oh gosh,
there's I think Steve McQueen's movies are pretty brutal. Shame, 12 Years a Slave. So we can go on and on. By the way, Ichi the Killer. But
yeah, that was the one I was thinking about. That was the other one I was thinking about.
We can go on and on, but that was a great question.
It was a good question.
I want to try to knock out all your guys' questions in this one, though, because there's some great ones. It recently has been rumored, thanks to release photos, that Marvel's Luke Cage Netflix series will deal with the police brutality. My question is, do you think this topic would make people critical of the show, unlike Jessica Jones and Daredevil, which received praise for the themes they addressed? I don't know. I mean, there will be some sect of people that'll be critical of it. They go that route, but I mean, there's people critical of everything.
Yeah.
But Would they be substantially like? Why are you touching on real world themes? I doubt it. I actually think they would. Like the opposite would happen. I think they would get a lot of praise and kudos for having balls to do that. Kind of like like a situation with Kendrick Lamar or Macklemore speaking out on police brutality. There was controversy and there was a lot of praise. I don't know. What about you?
It's like when I think about Daredevil, I think about like the morality complex of how to really save someone. What does it mean between being a vigilante and being a killer? The morality complex. And when I think about Jessica Jones, like the complex of emotional destruction or rape, like those are really serious issues that both of these shows really showcase really well. To talk about police brutality or minority neglect or abuse, or even going in a different spectrum of how people see other people, I think that would be commendable. I think that a lot of people will actually be more drawn to the Defenders in general if they went down that route. I hope they actually do that, because if they do that, that leaves the line for like Punisher or even if it's Iron Fist to show those different demographics, especially Iron Fist, because Iron Fist deals with a lot of the mystical when you start dealing with like the different martial arts forms and like Ki and Chi and all the different kind of things as far as Taekwondo. Like, what is that from the religious connotation? So there's a lot of different ways that they can take these Netflix shows. And I wish that they would continue to do that, push that bar, make people question the complex, like, of what is, the difference between these comic book characters in real life. And it's a narrow margin now. And so I think that that'd be really great if they actually went down that road with that, especially with Luke Cage. They should go for it. I think most of the cast is predominantly African-American, Latino, and minority in general. So it's going to be interesting to see where they go with that.
Yeah, I don't think it's, I don't know that it's that, well, it would be interesting to see. It's not like they have to do this, but to see it represented, I think would be really cool and kind of would show some self-awareness, and that would connect deeper with audiences. So, there is that to consider. Gosh, y'all asked a lot of questions. I think we'll try a couple more and pause. But let's see here. My main dude, yo, what's up, man? But he's got. Have you listened to all the samples of BVS's soundtrack? Which one are you feeling? That is going to be a resounding no for me. That's not the type of thing I fuck with. I like to wait to hear the music with the movie, because the movie it just enforces the music better for me personally. And yeah, I like the feeling of one to track down the movie after seeing or track down the music after seeing it represent a certain scene really well or what have you. But
yeah, shoot, for me, it's interesting. We had this conversation, didn't we, Jor-El? Like, we talked about this because I was saying to you that I was buying the soundtrack before the movie came out, and that with The Dark Knight, I listened to the soundtrack first before I watched the movie, and I had a great experience listening to it and actually watching it unfold. It meant more memorable to me. But then with The Man of Steel, I did the opposite, where I watched the movie, and in every single track meant more because of it. So I've actually been listening to quite a bit of the samples. I haven't listened to a lot of them, maybe 3 to 4. And they've been really good. Like, especially the one is, what was the name of it? Is She With You? I thought that was a really different one, especially from Hans Zimmer and with Juke XL. They did a really good job with it, but it's only like 1 minute tops. I did a reaction to one that I thought was excellent. I forgot the name of it, but yeah, I've actually listened to a few of them, but I don't know if I'm going to actually listen to the whole soundtrack. I might just wait, but then again, I get to see the movie a week ahead of time. Oh man. Hello? Hello? Jor-Els? All right, what did you got? Yeah, I'm going to still up. What did you got to give? You mind showing your laptop? Yeah.
You got me. Yeah, he came up the stairs.
Can you close your laptop? Laptop? Close the laptop? Internet.
All right, turn the Wi-Fi.
Oh, snap. I'm still here. Oh, I guess I haven't caught up in real time, y'all. I don't know what's going on. I apologize. So Jor-El
Hello?
is coming back.
Hello?
Yeah, I hear you, bro.
Oh, fuck. Sorry, man. I don't know what happened.
No, you good. I mean, we're still live. I actually left because I thought that my internet was frozen. But then thanks for Senna Gaming said that I could see and hear you. So I appreciate that, Senna. Even though you like didn't come over the other day, it's whatever. But yeah, go ahead. Go ahead on. We're back.
Yeah, I guess my internet went out or something. I don't know. But either way, you can still hear me, right?
Yeah, I got you, man.
Okay. Well, probably is an indicator that we should probably cut it off. So, we will. I don't even know if you guys can see me right now. Probably not. But I guess we will wrap up the user questions in the next podcast, and we're just gonna sign off. Let us know what you guys thought of tonight's
What
our
in
feedback.
the world?
These questions. Let us know down below. And yeah, we're probably about to sign off. So
That was really weird. I just literally left and it came back.
all right. Well, I'm about to cut the feed. So peace.
Later, y'all. Jor-El? Jor-El? We're still live. Are we still live, y'all? I don't know what's going on, but I guess I'm about to cut the feed. Later, y'all.